Okay, so next we'll be working on a little sequence of poses that we call the Half Sun Salutation. So in many yoga practices, they'll start with what's called a sun salutation, or in Sanskrit, it's called Surya Namaskar, which was traditionally done by the yogis at dawn towards the facing east towards the sun, and the sequence of poses and actions of moving in between the poses was designed to get the sun to shine in all different areas of the body. So that's where the origination of the Surya Namaskar, or the sun salutation, came about. So today, as a little bit of intro, we'll get to that next week, we're going to work on what's called Half Sun Salutations. So this is a nice little sequence that is practiced. It's just standing only, and it's a great way to stretch the body and energize the body. I think it's a fantastic way to start the day or end the day or take a break during the day. So we'll run through one round of it. Just the very standard one. We'll run through one round first, and then we'll pause and break down each of the poses. So let's first come standing to your comfortable standing pose. Feet will be about hip distance apart, and I'm going to turn sideways for these first few, so you can. It might help for you to see a little bit better if I'm turning sideways. So feet are about hip distance apart. And let's start with our hands in prayer. So we're standing in mountain pose, right? We're standing in Tadasana, pressing those palms together, allowing the wrists to line up with the elbows. So we'll move through the poses, just listen and follow along, and we'll move on the breath, but we'll also pause in each pose for the breath for this first one. So standing nice and tall here in Tadasana in your mountain pose, hands in prayer. And on your next inhale, we'll reach the arms out to the side and up. And pause for a breath here. Exhale, hinging at the hips. Let the arms come down by the sides. We'll fold all the way down and just pause, pressing the feet down, letting the upper body relax. On your next inhale, we'll come halfway up, so think long spine, arms reach straight behind you, palms face up. Good, next exhale, we fold all the way down. And on your next inhale with the long spine, so reverse swan dive, press into your feet. Inhale, reach the arms out to the side and all the way up. Exhale, hands come into prayer at heart center. And just notice how you feel. All we did, one round. Maybe you feel your heart beating a little bit more. Maybe the body feels a little bit more stretched out. Good. So we'll break down a few of those poses that we haven't worked on already. And then I'll show you a couple of other versions that are very similar that are also called Half Sun Salutations. So we start in our Tadasana, right? So we know this one. Then on the inhale, we just reach the arms down, out to the side and up. So the main thing to pay attention to is when you're moving is not to have the arms be just kind of floppy, right? You really want to do everything with awareness, with energy. So I'm actively reaching my arms out to the side and I sweep them up. And then I just pause here again. So we've practiced this before in our Tadasana. We're just lengthening the arms up. Good. And so then the next one, we just exhale. We want to think of hinging at the hips. So we're not leading with the shoulders per se. The chest stays open. We hinge at the hips for this next one while the arms come down. So we exhale and I'm hinging right at my hips and my arms are sweeping all the way down. So then by the time I make it to the ground, my upper body is just hanging heavy. So now I'm pressing down through the feet. I'm lengthening up through the backs of my legs. I'm keeping the muscles in the backs of the legs engaged here. Reaching the tailbone up. And if the backs of your legs are feeling really tight, you can always keep a bend in the knees. That's completely fine. But let the upper body relax once you come down here. So then the next move, if you will, is a half forward fold. So we come halfway up and we want the spine to be as long as possible. So sometimes people will come halfway up and they may still keep their fingertips down, but the spine is still nice and long because they have this flexibility in the backs of the legs. Some, if you come, we just keep saying halfway up, it's like just a nice perfect L shape. Now, if you find that you're halfway up, you feel like you're halfway up, but the shoulders are just really rounding down and this isn't that comfortable, you may want to come a little bit higher up. So maybe your halfway is more of only a quarter of the way down or something like that. That's fine. This can be halfway up as well. Now, we have a couple of options with our arms here. Especially when I have people that are first learning, I like to keep the arms straight back with the palms up. So the arms don't necessarily need to reach up high by any means, they're just straight back. And what this does is it helps keep the chest open, remind the chest and shoulders to stay open. So you can reach your arms straight back for this, palms up for this halfway up. Some people may like to keep their hands on their thighs or on their shins. That's okay, as long as you're not rounding the shoulders. And there's also a time where you can reach your arms straight forward. Now, notice now I've got my arms, gravity's pulling me down a little bit, and this is a lot more challenging to have my arms straight out in front of me than it is to have straight behind me. So you can play around with the different arms, but I suggest starting here with the arms straight back behind you. So this is our half lift. And then remember, we exhaled again and we folded forward. So just back here where we were. And then we do reverse swan dive. So the same way we came down, we came back up. Inhale, so I'm gonna press down strong through my feet. I can bend the knees if I'd like. Inhale, I reach the arms out to the side, come all the way up. Again, come back here, my Tadasana with the arms reaching up. Exhale, hands back into prayer. So that's how we break down the half sun salutation. Now there's a couple of more variations we can do, and I'll tell you a little bit about them and then we'll run through them. So the whole time we were moving this time that we explained, the spine was completely long the whole time. We weren't doing any kind of rounding of the spine, but that's another option. So I could, as I'm coming down, I could roll the spine down and I could roll the spine up. And also when we were moving, we had the arms kind of reaching out and up, reaching out and down. You can also reach forward and up and forward and down. So the different options come with kind of how we round and straighten the spine and how we move the arms. And then I have another version on YouTube that I'm going to share with you guys for practice, where we kind of sit down and bend into the knees and sit down into a little chair pose. We're still doing the action of folding forward, coming back up, so the heart's moving up and down, but we're bending our knees into a chair pose as well. So that's another fun option. So let's try this a couple more times, and I'll show you the three different versions, if you will. So the last one will be the first one that we did, but you don't have to remember it. So come to standing, comfortable standing pose. Feet are about hip distance apart. Hands in prayer. Good. So inhale, we reach the arms out to the side and up. Exhale, we're gonna swan dive, folding all the way down. Inhale, come halfway up. Exhale, folding down. So this time, inhale, bend the knees, roll the spine up one vertebrae at a time. Shoulders, head lasting to come up, arms reach out to the side and up. Exhale, hands in prayer. Now we're gonna do another version. This time, inhale, arms reach straight forward and up. Exhale, we fold down, arms stay straight forward. The arms frame the ears, so we fold all the way down with the arms straight forward. This time, inhale, long spine, arms come straight out in front. So this is the challenging one. Exhale, fold. And then inhale with the long spine, arms come to frame the ears. We stand all the way up. Exhale, hands in prayer. Now we'll do once again the same version we started out with. Inhale, arms reach out to the side and up. Exhale, long spine, folding forward. Inhale, coming halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, long spine, reverse swan dive, brings you all the way up. Exhale, hands in prayer. Good, now just pause here, notice how you feel, maybe close your eyes, scan through your body, notice how you feel. How's the breath? Notice your heartbeat. Good, and then just relax your arms. So you can practice any of those versions or all of those versions, and I would pay attention to your body. Maybe the rounding of the spine feels really good to you, or maybe it doesn't feel so good, but the long spine feels better. So I would definitely try all the different options, practice all the different options, and see how you feel. So your homework for this week, obviously I'm not specifically checking on you, but your homework for this week is to practice 5 rounds of these half sun salutations, ideally every morning. So ideally first thing in the morning, right when you wake up, it take you about 5 minutes, so maybe set your alarm 5 minutes earlier, practice 5 rounds right when you wake up. Now, you can either play this video back if you'd like, or I'm also going to share with you 2 YouTube videos that I already have on our site, so you can practice along with those. And I encourage you to practice along with those first, and then maybe try one on your own once you've memorized the sequence. And a lot of beginners, or when this sequence is new to people, they may have a little bit of trouble lining up the breath, because of course I didn't really sneak it in there, but it's inhale, arms up, exhale, fold. And some of the movements, let's say, it's a longer movement to fold all the way down than it is to reach my arms up. So there's a little bit of timing here with the breath. So do your best, and if you realize that you're halfway through something and you've run out of breath, just take another breath. It's totally fine. It's not a big deal. And what else did I want to say? So just breathe as much as you need to. And if you forget when to inhale and when to exhale, that's totally fine. That'll come. And you'll also notice that different teachers have you inhale and exhale at different times anyway. So it's also not good to get stuck too much in a pattern of I only inhale when I do this and I only exhale when I do that. Traditionally, if you're not sure, or you're guessing is it better to inhale or exhale, traditionally when we're doing anything that's more of an opening or an arching kind of move, that would be the inhale, and the exhale be more on the opposite, on like the folding or the kind of contracting, constricting motion. So that's just, you can use that as a little rule of thumb of when to inhale and when to exhale. But in the meantime, like I said, follow along with the video, do your best, but see if you can practice moving on the inhale and exhale as guided. So enjoy, and I'll see you on the next one.